Hello. I'm Danny, and I'm going to be doing a flip through of my 2022 Hobonichi, which has been filled up until January thus far. I'll also do a February setup at the end of the video, so you can see firsthand how I usually go about journaling. I've been an avid Hobonichi user for the past 4 years, so I think I've learned a lot about how to use this journal and how I personally like to use this journal. I'll be narrating and talking about my design choices and things like that while I flip through the journal, so hopefully you will either find this inspiring or fun to watch. Let's go! My journal for 2022 is the cousin-sized Hobonichi. This cover is from the 2020 collection, and the illustration is drawn by Taiyo Matsumoto. It's a very pretty cover. I also got a different journal cover for this year, so I'll be interchanging between the two. But also, Hobonichi just released a February spring journal cover that I really like, so I'm gonna have to think about that. This year Hobonichi gave out these little spoon keychains as a free gift for every journal order, and I think the meaning of this item is really cute. I'll put like an on-screen text of what it says on the Hobonichi site. Let's start the flip through. I just wanted to note that throughout this flip through my pages, there will be some that are censored via these like little paper cutouts that I've stuck on, just so that I can keep my private thoughts private. But hopefully it doesn't interfere with your clarity of what I'm trying to show. Something I've gotten into the habit of doing is writing myself a letter at the very end of the year to read at the end of the next year. So here is an envelope featuring my 2021 letter. I have a Polaroid here with a friend of mine. Also, there is a photo card I have made of my Final Fantasy XIV character. Yes. There's also this little paper tab that came with the journal that outlines Taiyo Matsumoto and his journal cover design. Flipping onto the next. Here is a postcard from the artist Jeannie, who I am an avid fan of, and I'm also a patron of hers. I am subscribed, so I get these postcards in the mail monthly. I really like her work. And behind and on both pages, I have stickers drawn by the artist Poxy. Poxy. I'll put a label on screen. Above the Hobonichi 2022, I have written a quote from Peter Pan. I don't do anything at all over here, but on the yearly spread, I write down the names of my friends on their birthdays. This is my only log of their birthdays that I have anywhere. With these monthly spreads, I use them to keep track of my schedule, so any due dates for anything, or if I have dance practice, I'll write it down, or if there are parties upcoming, stuff like that. So it's just like the hard info I need to access quickly. As you can see, my December and January have been pretty loaded with a lot of dance practices. I dance a lot. I don't do anything special at all. I like to color code sometimes, but nothing is consistent. Not on these monthly spreads. I don't use the weekly spreads. I used to do like food journaling in these. I'll put up a photo of my old journals, but I found that I just don't have time for it anymore. So here is my turning the page to a new year, which is arguably the page I enjoy doing the most when I'm setting up my Hobonichi. It's just a recap of the previous year and all the events that were important and things that stuck with me from that year that I want to hold on to. Yes, so you can see here, there's just a load of reflection, and then I tend to always write my favorite songs from the year on this page as well, and a recap of things I've done with friends and also games, because I tend to play games a lot. Yeah, pretty simple first page. So this is my January spread. For the first day of each month, I always like to do a overview page. So I leave space so I can write about how January was as a whole when January is over. So I'll be filling this in later on. So for January, usually I write my resolutions on this page as well. So for me, I've done it here under this flip tab, just so it's a bit more private, even though I'm showing it off. Yes. And you can see the 1st January. So the thing to note probably about my bullet journal is that I really like to decorate, and I spend a lot of time organizing theme and colors so the spread overall looks cohesive. So here we have TXT and N-hyphen. There's gonna be a whole lot of K-pop images because they're just easy to use for bullet journal, and I can always put credit to the group instead of having to find out artists or photographers and stuff like that to credit. So easy use. Also, one thing you'll see a lot throughout the rest of the journal is that I really like using stickers. So here you can see January 01. I use this specific set of alphabet a lot. This is from Luca Lab. So there is that. Let's flip over to the next spread. So that's just censoring things I've written that I do not want exposed. I, for the majority of January, have done drama logs every now and then when I'm watching dramas with my mother, because we watch a lot of K-drama together, and I like to recap what I went through when I've watched those episodes. So I do that a lot. And then for the daily, I tend to do checklists and today's happenings. So I do that a lot, writing down what I've done today at the end of the day, and also checklists for either the coming week or just the next few days, so I have a bit of clarity on where I have to go in the next days ahead. Yeah. Moving on. I really like the spread. It's so bright and summery, but I think it's pretty obvious by now that one thing I really like to do with journaling is to block off sections into grids. So there's a lot of like angular sections that I tend to do. So blocks of text, images tend to be square, and also I cut out colored paper and write on them and then stick them in a lot, just so it has like more of a scrapbook feel. I like being very scrapbooky with my bullet journal, so I'm not really the type to be afraid of sticking shit on. I just slam it on. It just goes on. Yeah. So again, there's a drama log here, to-do list for Genshin, because I've been playing a lot of Genshin this year, and things like dance and art responsibilities. Ooh, a very blue spread on this side and quite a colorful one on this side. So even if I don't stick to one color for the whole double spread, I tend to like pulling elements together that make it look nice. So this photo of Subin meshes well with this completely blue spread, even though the rest of it is very colorful. Yes. And here you can see my use of stickers. I use stickers a lot. Text stickers, confetti stickers, and also a ton of washi tape. So one thing I really like doing in my Hobonichi is to cut out squares of washi tape and just to slap them on like this. Like, they're not really taping anything down and they're not really decorating anything in particular, but I think just to bring out pops of color, I really like small sections of washi tape just here and there, like confetti. Oh yes, so this is a more monochrome spread. Same thing where I used a color piece of paper to write and then stick on. Then I also do this a lot, so writing like titles in a marker and outlining it with black ink because it's quick and efficient. I don't really tend to spend a lot of time on calligraphy and stuff like that. I like my text to look a bit more raw, so I just draw and write. However, yeah, I don't think I'll ever properly make like big nice texts and stuff for my bullet journal. It's something that's supposed to be quick, scrapbooky, and easy for me, even though it's very time consuming because I really like to put effort. So washi tape, stickers, and colored paper again. Yes. Because of lockdown, I haven't had that many opportunities to print out photos of, sorry, we're not even in lockdown, because I'm not going out that much. I haven't had opportunities to take a lot of photos, so I would usually have a lot more photos of myself and the things I've experienced on that day stuck in. But yeah, this is just one of the days where I was out and I took photos, so there it is. Is there anything else of note? I do sometimes do this sort of thing, so like icons and then writing text next to it. So very like blog style. Like a lot of my bullet journal elements seem to draw from like Tumblr templates, that sort of look where everything's quite gridded off. Yeah. Yes. Wednesday, Thursday. A more monochrome spread. I wouldn't say it's cottagecore, but I do quite like old school aesthetics, so a lot of my spreads will draw from that. So the like dark academia type of aesthetic. I like using browns a lot. Quite a bright one. Lots of yellows. Drama logs. I also like to rip up old books that I have that I will not ever read again. So there's a lot of this sort of thing I do. Sometimes I'm just way too tired to journal, so I'll leave blank pages like this after like setting it up, so that if I ever have a day where I have a bunch of thoughts, I can just plot them on here. And I think because this was such a big load of text, I didn't try to censor it, but when I edit, I will probably blur that out. But I just wanted you to see what it is supposed to look like. I think we have reached my favorite spread of this January flip through. So this is actually cut out from a K-pop album. I have a lot of extras for On and Off's albums, so I ripped them up and I used it for my journal. I do that a lot. There's a lot of these these shiny stickers that I really like. I also use brush pens a lot, just black ones, to do like very like rushed sort of text. Yes. I think from this spread, it's pretty evident that I'm not really afraid of where the text and stuff goes. I'm very spontaneous. I just write if there's space to write. And I put stickers if there's space to put stickers. One thing I like to do that I think gives spreads a bit more of an edge is to do a line to like indicate a paragraph of text. I think I'm gonna have to blur out what I've written here. But basically I like to line paragraphs so that they stand out a bit more and so that I can separate them from other areas of text. Moving on. Very simple spread. This one's pretty colorful. And then I used yellow colored paper here because right after the monochrome spread I felt like I should do something a bit more colorful. The spread on this side is actually an illustration of Sunu from N-, which I've drawn. So I stuck it in because I thought it really suited the rest of my bullet journal and I wanted to do a blue spread anyway. And I was just very busy, I think, this day. So a simple photo and simple text and design work because I do not have energy for a lot of this sort of stuff. I think like this year especially, I've moved into doing a lot more monochrome spreads. They're just a lot more easier for me. These are from one of my favorite mangas, which is Ran and the Grey World. Stunning art, so good, so amazing. When I have really busy days because I'm out a lot or don't have time to really sit down, I like to print out big images and then use them to cover the majority of the page, and then I can just add in like a bit of text to finalize the day before I go to bed. I really like this spread, but there's so much I am not able to show. But here it is. I think this day, Saturday the 29th, I was pretty busy, so I just stuck in photos and did tape, washi tape. I'm a pretty big fan of like old school manga, so this is Hagiomoto and I think it's Keiko Takemiya, who have written very old, I think 60s to 90s manga that I've read. Gorgeous art, I love. And then the final spread for January. I think it's pretty obvious that towards the end of January, I've gotten busier and I haven't been able to do a lot of like big spreads. So it's very simple, like blocks of images and washi tape, blocks of images and stickers, that sort of thing. And like here's another example of how I like to line off text so it becomes a bit of like a block that separates it from the rest of the text. Yeah, I think that's the entirety of January. And February, which I will set up soon. I think I will go from the start and just do a quick flip through so you can see once again all the pages.
from a movie scene to made of people in my dreams. The last time, if I recall, was a feeling of being alone. I don't know where I'm going isn't far, but in case I go, no need to be stressed. Gotta take it home, gets there. I really miss the shade of blue. Just take it slow. I'll wait to find love. Better hear the call again. For now I will feel the ocean view, and I pray that it won't be over soon. Oh my, I miss the sun. Just wait, it won't be too long till we arrive the coming day. Please ignore my restless face, 'cause it's so hard to keep it all together ever since we left. I guess it just makes sense to what the reasoning was when I said, in case I go, no need to be stressed. Gotta take it home, gets there. I really miss the shade of blue. Ooh, just take it slow. I'll wait to find love. Better hear the call again. For now I will feel the ocean view, and I pray that it won't be over soon. In case I go, no need to be stressed. Gotta take it home, gets there. I really miss the shade of blue. Just take it slow. I'll wait to find love. Better hear the call again. From now I will feel the ocean view.
It's recording, right? Okay, cool.